I'd like to call a special meeting to order on 6/10/2026 at call. Alderman Hutchins. Here. Alderman Webb. Here. Alderman Meinke. Here. Alderman Fancher. Alderman Grief. Here. Alderman Howe. Here. And the mayor is here. We have a quorum. First thing on the agenda is the agreement or loan agreement for the case excavator. Have you had a chance to look it over? Any questions on it? Any discussion on it?
Bill?
Yes.
I got a couple questions on it. Didn't we table this for 90 days?
No. What Alderman Webb had asked Merle Fawcett is if we could sell the John Deere within 90 days. That's where the 90 days came in. There was nothing that was tabled for 90 days.
Because I had it on my notes. I write notes on agendas. And I got told for 90 days.
Alderman Webb, would you want to elaborate on it?
The only deal was I talked to Merle Fawcett about, I asked him how long did he think it would take to sell at John Deere? And he said, we didn't think it would take too long. And I said, well, 30, 60, 90 days, what do you want, 90 days? Would that be long enough? He said, yes. That's all it was.
All right, I got one more question. Where was the John Deere sidearm bought out of? Was it bought out of streets? Was it bought out of water or sewer? You know?
I don't have that paperwork in front of me.
Are we selling that or are we trading it
It
in?
would be traded in on this contract along with the backhoe, the free backhoe.
Because if it was, to say precise, if it was sold on the street money, that money needs to go back in the streets. And then it needs to be broke down so much back out of streets, so much out of sewer, and so much out of water. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that can be done just with the treasurer.
I'm just letting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if there's, you guys have any question on this, we're going to be able to use this on all departments. Yes, we are. We're going to be using them because the attachments are going to be for street with the mulcher, also the water easements. So the water line, the water department's going to be able to use that mulcher. The ditch bucket is going to be used for streets, for our ditches. So all departments are going to be able to use it.
If you purchase it, you need to bring money out of the streets, out of the sewer, and out of the water. Don't take it out of one account.
They can be done with the treasurer.
Okay.
Okay, so last company we all agreed that we were liable.
By what?
By the scope. The camera.
The camera.
Yeah, that's already been ordered.
Okay. That was around 21. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And last week we found out that we had moved money from general to the bond account, correct?
From
From the general account to the bond account based off of the oil from.
yeah, that's already been done.
Correct. So, this is a large purchase.
Yes.
With the money that's moved already, I have seen, I don't know where our finances stand. We haven't done any investigation into the sewer pipes already. The last thing I was told, we had over 200 man-hours, correct?
No, that we can work on right now.
Okay. How many do we have?
I think there's 800 is what Mike is told me.
Yeah, it's around there.
Do we have, I'm not comfortable personally saying yes to spending more money until we know who we actually need. Because if we have 200 people work on that, and we've got 800 in total, let's say that 10% of them we have to repair. That's 80, right? We could easily go out and get a quote from a contractor. We could rent a piece of equipment for a while to get this solidified. I know that we're trying to do this to get the ADQ off of us and to show that, hey, we're trying to fix our city, which is 100%. I joined this council to try to help with the finances and try to make sure that everything is done correctly. I want to make sure that we see an ROI, and for those who don't know, that's return on investment for our purchases. Yes, we have leasing, but there are other options that us as a city can do. We can also go out and get our own leasing away, and we can depreciate this equipment over 5 years. We don't have to make a purchase at the end of the year. The payments would be less than $3,300 a month with this if we do it a different way. I am not saying that we don't need to fix our town or our city, that we don't necessarily need this. What I'm saying is, until we know what is needed, how big a problem all of our sewers are, I'm not comfortable spending $300,000 on a piece of equipment. Now, once we get that scope and we get 50% of it done, we say, hey, look, out of 50%, we've got 25% of them already we have to do. Once we have numbers and data backing up, I'm all for bringing this back up and having a discussion. I understand everybody who will be part of this. I understand that we've gotten trade items up some, we've gotten the interest rate down. And all that can change over the course of the next 2 to 3 months. But that's a big chunk of money for the city to just come out and say, hey, look, we're going to buy this because we think we're going to need it. We have to look at it. I know that the John Deere apparently is not in the greatest condition where we don't necessarily have something that's not working properly, is that correct?
No, the John Deere is a whole different piece of equipment. The John Deere is a tractor, and it is a armed bush hauler. Okay. It has nothing to do with any kind of excavation.
Okay. So, I personally don't see the need for us to make this purchase right now off of it. I would like to see the data saying, hey, look, we have 500 of those angles that messed up, and we have to replace them all, and they're all at that depth, and we need this piece of equipment. At that time, yes, it's fine. But at this point in time, I can't be able to sit here and with good confidence in the citizens' money, say, yes, we can spend it. So, that's all I have to say.
Well, can I?
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
I'm not, you know, okay, we've been working on this for over a year now. The transmission line, from 178 south to Riverside, okay, there's 4 of them, okay, one from the bed and breakfast, okay, and we have a spur that comes off of Kingsway, and then there's one that comes from behind Connie's, okay, with a spur attached to it from the cave, and also right behind ALS. They all merge down at the old golf course on Jack 9. That's the location where, with all the information that we have collected, the data that we have collected, working with the engineering company, the EPA, AEQ, they feel that this is where our trouble spots are, where we're getting our infiltration from. We can't get a piece of equipment down there because it's an overgrown, no one has cleared it since 2014, okay? The road that used to go down through and service those manholes doesn't even exist anymore. Over the years, that has been washed away because they put the sewer line right next to the creek bed. Okay? So those roads have disappeared. For us to get our equipment down there to inspect those lines, I can't get a 4-wheel drive or a 4x4 or a side-by-side down there with equipment so that we can camera those. okay, to find out if these things, so what has to happen is we have to clear it, one, we have to clear that section, and then rebuild a road so we can get equipment down. That's the problem, and with, all the data and the information, working with, this engineering company and water technical assistance, I mean, then they clearly state the anticipated completion dates below will likely all be pushed back due to the discussion below on waiting for the transmission line portal to be cleared and settling on a scope of work for the field of work. I gave every one of the aldermen prior to you this. It is recommended purchasing equipment instead of hiring out to be able to maintain long term. Potential timeline is to start clearing next month if the city can get approval from city council at the end of this month. So this, all these AEQ, EPA, DRG, they're all saying that this is the best solution right now to get that equipment so that we can fix the road so that we can get the equipment down there to even repair stuff. So I'm just bringing it out to you guys. This was handed out. This was the April 22nd meeting minutes that we had. And now we went to one piece of equipment that was, it was a bad deal. Case came up with this. They turned around, I told them at our last meeting to relook, see what better off you can. They came up with an additional $8,000 to go towards a trade-in, and they also reduced the loan amount 1%. So they did make improvements on the lease. And like I said, these other companies, agencies that have been working with, recommend that the city get this piece of equipment.
I have not seen that movie.
So no, I'm not.
So until I see that and digest it, I don't know.
Yeah. I got it,
Let me just ask, have you surveyed where Bill's talking about, do you have any idea of how long it takes to clear all that area now?
We're looking at probably 2 months. It's at the minimum.
2-3 months to get cleared out.
And that's not just, we have way more than just the transmission lines to fix. We still have to fix the back line. Almost every ditch in this town needs fixed. And I know everybody complains about culverts flooding up and stuff like that, and then until we start fixing these ditches, they're going to continue to do it. Efficiency is everything. We're low man, so we need to be able to move as quickly as possible. We can't clean these ditches with what we have. It's just not possible.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, the lease we're looking at, Bill, is a monthly payment, right?
Yes.
We're not looking at $100 and some $1,000 to purchase anything, basically just leasing something.
They're saying 58 months would be $3,391.99. 1 month, it would be 5 months, would be $3,392.06. It's a 5-year lease agreement, and with that lease agreement, the 5 years, it is covering a 5-year warranty on that. And then at the end of the lease agreement, we can buy that piece of equipment for $1. Now, their trade-in value, they gave us $114,500. Now, the other thought process is the 1988 we pay for the sewer department, the lead, we're right around 50,000.
Yeah, about 50,000. We could pay that off. That's costing us about $1,400 a month now. We've got the money to pay that off. And we took that $1,400. This deal would cost us an additional $1,400. We'd have pretty much the rent payment for the next 5 years. It costs the city to go up, let's say $1,600.
Instead of paying 1,400, we'd be paying an additional, 2,000 on top of it. So it goes towards this.
Trade-off, in my opinion, guys, is just this. We are going to have to, as we've already discussed here, we're going to have to maintain that right of way from now on. Instead, when we did that initially, I was here when we cleared all that stuff. And we brought prisoners in, and they worked, I think, 2 or 3 weeks by hand doing that. At that point, get tobacco in there, and we built what we could do. It hadn't been done since, so it's washed out and overgrown. And it's not going to grow away, it's going to keep doing that. So we're going to, it may last us 3 or 4 or 5 years if we have a contractor come in and do it, then we're going to have to do it again. The other thing is those 8-inch lines run through there, the only 8-inch lines we've got. And new camera will allow us to inspect those, which we couldn't do previously. So we're setting ourselves up, not just for right now, but for the future. We're going to have to maintain that stuff going forward. So a contractor will come in and do a one-shot job, which would be maybe cheaper than doing this, but then we're going to repeat that, and we still can't get the other stuff that Merle's talking about dug out without the equipment we've got. So in my opinion, it makes sense long-term for the city to go ahead and get the equipment. We're going to have to maintain these things after we're not on the city council. I mean, it's going to be still going on. No more hours we want to put on that piece of equipment. It all lasts for years. But it's up to you guys to just figure out what you want to do.
Well, I'm not saying that you don't have to maintain it or anything like that. I'm not saying that. And I understand that maybe purpose does allow us to.
Yeah, we don't have the ability to maintain it presently.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't, a contractor's not going to solve our problem permanently.
No, I 100% understand. I agree with that. Anytime you hire a contractor, they're doing it for that one time, unless you do a multi-year agreement. I just can't see it being okay to spend that money without knowing what we got.
No, we can't even get an 8-inch camera down there. You gotta clear the right of way to get this camera down there so we can see it.
If that's the case, then why order that product when we voted on the camera? We don't, why order okay the camera?
Well, the camera will do multiple jobs. The camera will also do our 6-inch lines, it's not just an 8-inch.
Right.
We presently have an not great 6-inch camera that can do the lines in, most of the lines in town. We don't have one to do the big lines that we're talking about. This 8-inch camera will do both, and it's got 500 feet of fiber optic water cable on it, so we can go from manhole to manhole and do the whole thing. So it'd be a 6-inch line or the 8-inch line. So for the first time, the city would actually own all the equipment it needs to maintain its sewer system.
And one thing is, I'm not saying that's bad.
No, I'm not saying that it's bad either. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
But it's not going to cost less another year from now, 5 years from now, if we have to do it again.
No, you're absolutely right.
So I'm looking at the long-term benefit to the city. We got to it's a hunt.
I don't want benefits to the city. That's one of the reasons why I do it. But I also think to make sure that we were making smart decisions for not just us, not just now, but for our kids and our grandkids.
That's why you see where I'm going with
So
this.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that I don't know where we're going. I know that we just had to move almost $400,000 out the bottom. I haven't seen where we're at now. I am not comfortable spending more money until I see good or finance. And that, I mean,
We haven't spent $400,000.
no, but we had to move that money over to fund.
That was supposed to have been done.
No,
Okay.
I understand.
We didn't lose any money. It just, the second time, the treasury of the state only sends us to one account. Okay? From there, the treasurer is supposed to take 1% of that 2% and push it over to the bond fund for the construction. So we haven't been fined for anything, we haven't gotten any penalties or anything, it just had to be moved over to that account. We were making the payments for the sewer department, so that's been taken care of. The previous, we had no idea that we had to do this, okay?
Understood. I 100%. Right. With that being moved, I don't have any budget in front of me. Or treasury account. Same good thing. If it was your money, put my office. No, I don't know what that money is. I mean, I know that people know. I personally, sitting on the council, don't. And that's what doesn't give me the only one.
And Travis brings up a good point, is the whole reason that all of us were elected was to do exactly what we're doing right now, which is question where the money is. That's our biggest job. And I agree with Travis. I mean, I'm on the budget committee and I don't know where it is now because things have been moved around, things have been shifted. I know we haven't lost money, I know we haven't been, I understand all that. But I'm just not sure that we need to make a decision on this right now. I don't think that waiting until we figure out where the budget is, get somebody in place that can get things stabilized, and move on from there. I can tell you that every email, every text message, every discussion at Hearts that I've had about this has all been, don't vote for it. And this is from the people that elected us. So, I'm with Travis. There's, maybe there's another way to look at this that we haven't thought about. Maybe there's, I don't know, but I'm just not sure that waiting, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days is going to be the end of the world. And maybe I'm being Scrooge McDuck here, but I'm just not sure that's a bad thing. Until we can get stabilized and figure out where we are.
I also bring up the question about he asked where the money came from. Was that when it was purchased, was it depreciated out? And if it was depreciated out, has that depreciation paid? Because it has been.
What are you trying to do?
So we're all talking about there's no way for us to purchase this equipment. We don't necessarily have to go through the dealership. As a city, we can go to the bank and ask for a loan, and then we can do a depreciation value over the next 5 to 7 years on it. If we look at the depreciation value and we bought it through the bank, it would actually be cheaper on us than the city. Because we wouldn't have to, the way depreciation is set up, you pay a lot more, in the first year, and it's less year after year. But you also can do a tax deduction on it. If the John Deere hasn't been depreciated out, we're going to lose the money that was set up when we set that account, and we're going to pay it back. So if it's not paid off, it hasn't been
That's
depreciated
paid
out.
off.
Okay.
John Deere's has been paid off.
Okay. I don't have finances for that, so I'm concerned.
No, we don't know anything on it.
And we have not had full appreciation value.
I can't remember what the year.
As a citizen, you appreciate
Yes. And a major piece of equipment, you can appreciate it from anywhere from 5 to 7 years. But we might be able to get a better interest rate from the bank.
Yeah, you lose your warranty.
Wow. We can so we can purchase this.
You're only gonna get, with a 2-year warranty if you buy it outright.
But they won't get, they won't sort of the extended warranty on top of it.
No.
We get a 5-year warranty, like one with the lease. Now, of course, then becomes, it's unknown what, if anything, we might run into. The hours that we put on the machine is estimated to be 200 or 300 hours a year, okay, which is not a lot. And, this case is a diesel, is a diesel building, okay. Diesel engine typically lasts a long time. So, basically, the damage to the risk of that, we could maybe look up the depreciation and see what that would amount to over, you know, and see what it is. But they're gonna fix anything that happens for 5 years. It breaks down or whatever. And then we buy it from them for $1. So it's not all lost. I mean, we've got some protection. I don't know what that's worth. I don't know what the depreciation is. Maybe you could do that. Maybe you could contact or wherever and say, well, we're gonna borrow $300,000.
I would love,
Pardon me?
I would love.
Well, why don't we do that? Let's just, when's the workshop, what, a week, 10 days?
Next Thursday.
Would that give you enough time?
I can drive.
We'll give it a shot, we'll talk about it at the workshop.
I would love that. I want to do anything I can to save this town.
Before we move on to the next thing, I have a couple questions. How many acres is the road that we're trying to put in to those manholes?
Probably that's 2 miles,
2 miles?
and it's 10 feet wide.
It might be even more than that.
I mean, that's just a guess. I mean, I think it's either 2 or 2.5, something like that. But it's fully over. I mean, there's no, you're not gonna do no chainsaw and grass and stuff. It's cleaned out. So when they done it the last time, it's all piled up down at the bottom of the hill. It's just,
And on sides, you know.
yeah, it's a disaster.
Well, I think we're all in agreement. We're gonna have to, if we're gonna buy something, we're gonna have something that will work, do the work we have to do. And it's an ongoing situation, we're gonna have to maintain it. Now, we could save some money initially by contracting it out, but I don't know what that would cost, but I would guess it's gonna be north of $100,000. What do you think, Brian?
I'd like to pose a question, and I mean this for real discussion. You know, we are looking at basically a full overhaul of our city water and sewer infrastructure. Now, I love our can-do spirit, one of the best things about this town, but we have a lot of infrastructure to cover here, and if we're talking about spending well over $250,000 over the next 5 years, I think it would also be worth looking into what it would cost to actually bring in somebody who does this actually, instead of what will likely be, throughout the course of this process, a hodgepodge of different things and issues and of that nature. And also, when we purchase this, we're assuming the people that are working on this project are going to still be around to lead it. I believe in the last meeting, we heard that it takes a special certification to use this piece of equipment. Is that correct? No? I thought we said that, but, so, like I said, I love our camping spirit, but if we're going street by street doing this ourselves, we're looking at a serious length of time when we can see, you know, places like Flippin have well handled the bulk of their inter-town infrastructure and have just begun working their way out with a professional company. Whereas doing something like this on our own is going to eat up hours and hours and hours of our manpower when we can barely keep up with the things that we're already working on. So I think another option we need to start looking into is what it would actually cost the city to have a professional company and do a full overhaul. Just a thought.
Well, there's a possibility that next year, October the 17th, I think it was, of this year, the Senate sent a bill to the subcommittee to rework and then bring it back and vote on it sometime this year. And that bill was for cities under 3,000 population, dealt with water and wastewater. No money this year. If that passes next year, grant money will be available to do what you're talking about, the whole city.
Yeah,
But in the meantime, we're kind of under the gun, under the clock with ADEQ, with these lines running down to the river.
Well, I'm, to say that note, engaging with a professional company to come and inspect and do the work would fall under also working with them to solve that issue, but we're making a decision here that we're going to DIY a full city infrastructure system.
Well, that's coming. That's what I said. I think I have talked to some of the guys that work for both of the senators and requested that we be notified when that thing comes out of committee. And I'd like to put Bull Sellers at the head of the list of whatever grant money we can get. We might be able to get $1 million to redo the whole thing. That's next year. ADQ's not going to let us wait till next year.
Right. But my point is that if we engage the company now and they're out here doing the work, that also shows the same process of us going out and buying a piece of equipment and scoping the line. It's the same thing, especially now we have someone that will likely come state recommended because they've done the work before.
I don't know. Would you check and see?
I'm just saying before we decide to spend over $300,000 to do a project or something, it's like, I'll put it in perspective. It's like me whenever I buy an old boat. I'm really excited and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to turn this boat into the greatest boat I've ever rebuilt. And then a year later, it's still sitting in pieces in the garage floor. I'm still trying to figure out all the different things that the guy 20 years ago did to it with fiberglass or, you know, and we already have a hodgepodge of situations across the town from leaks and fixes we've had to do in the past. So why not just get a clean slate and just have somebody with intel, know-how, and the technology and equipment to do this?
If we had the money, we could do that, but we can't do the whole city until we get a grant.
Wow, we can easily take out a $300,000 loan for a piece of equipment the same way we can take out a loan to hire a company to do the work.
But then you have, if you buy a piece of equipment, I see this as a maintenance piece of equipment, not so much, you're talking about infrastructure. We're not talking about infrastructure, we're talking about maintaining and repairing as needed, because that's what they need.
And that's what we're doing, as needed. We can rent equipment right down the road.
Not this kind of equipment.
Well,
This is more.
I've made what I have to say about it, but spending $300,000 on a piece of equipment rather than to go section by section ourselves rather than bringing, it's like, we need professionals that do this all the time, because we're going to run into situations that we can't handle, and then it could potentially end up costing us more money. I know there's plenty of people with know-how and knowledge, but there are people that actually do this as their profession. You know, it's just a thought, and it's not
Everybody quote that?
It's going to cost you about $175,000 to clear the transfer line. That's just to clear them. That's not digging anything, that's clearing. And then you've got the back nine, it's going to cost you another $150, $175 to get out. You're going to spend the money either way.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather have a piece of equipment? Or would you just look on that way and just go away?
I'd like to do it. To be perfectly honest, I mean, you bring a very good point. The amount of work that we're talking about, that's a lot.
Well, we'll tell them what this thing will do besides dig up sewer lines.
we know it vibrates and shakes and rubs your feet, but
Different departments can also use the bill, it's not just for this sewer system.
Can we just table this until workshop at least, and give Travis a chance to look into this and just move on, because I mean, this is a circular argument at this point. So I would call to table this until the workshop.
I will advise ADQ of the same.
We could also include, we're exploring the other options that haven't been professional review, where, you know, it's not like we decided to do nothing.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is 2026 R11. At this time, I would take, and we will scratch where it says, and a street department's 2016 case by the backhoe loader serial number. We would scratch that. I will read the resolution 2026 R11. A resolution authorizing the disposal of specific inventory of the city of Old Shoals, whereas the city of Old Shoals has certain items in its inventory which are no longer needed or beneficial to the city of Old Shoals. And whereas it is the best interest of the city of Old Shoals to dispose of said items, being a police department vehicle, being a brown 2010 Ford Crown Vic, VIN number 2FAB-T7BB5AX132427. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that Section 1, the City of Old Shoals Street, Old Shoals Police Department declared that property inventory described above hereto is surplus property, which is no longer affairs within the city of Old Shoals. Section 2, that the mayor of the city of Old Shoals shall be and is hereby authorized to sell, dispose, trade, or said items of city inventory which are mentioned above. All said property shall be offered for sale in a commercially responsible manner, including but not limited to selling said items by advertised sale, by auction bid, or by trade in value.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Joe, you said no?
I said, yeah. I said, no.
Really? Next thing on the agenda is the resolution number 2026 R12 on Old Shoals, Arkansas, a resolution appointing the city maintenance technician of the city of Old Shoals, Arkansas, whereas the city of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, requests of the city council to appoint the maintenance technician for all departments of the city of Old Shoals. And whereas the city of Old Shoals would benefit by having a full-time mechanic that can work on all department equipment such as oil changes, greasing, brake, repair, cleaning equipment, setting up routine maintenance schedules, etc. Now therefore be resolved by the city council of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that Jamie L. Rogers is hereby appointed as Old Shoals City Maintenance Technician. This appointment will take effect starting June 22nd, 2026 upon passage by a 2/3 majority vote of the city council. It will take a 2/3 majority vote of the city council of the city of Old Shoals to remove Jamie L. Rogers as the Old Shoals Maintenance Technician. 3, the wage of this position shall be $20 per hour. Have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Discussion.
Right, well, we got a motion, I need a second.
Second.
Discussion?
So is this person licensed again? I haven't seen it.
Not certified, but might as well be.
Not everything is going to work on break or in the fire department. You know,
When did we talk about this in the past? We didn't talk about it last month. This is only. Bill, when did we talk about this?
I just gave it to you. If you don't want it, don't vote for it.
I'm just asking.
And I'm just telling you.
It seems like something that should have been at workshop so the community could have had time to comment on it. Probably best to table it.
What's up?
There's a motion, there's a second.
I'm concerned now, I'm gonna withdraw my second because I didn't know what Chief Baptist mentioned, that's concerning because we can't work on fire department.
Fire department takes all this stuff out. So they,
We do, yeah, with diesel equipment, especially our trucks, we have to have DOT, they have to be certified.
Okay, but it still concerns me that we have somebody that would be a mechanic for the city that could work on it.
How many hours are we projecting that is worth?
Full time.
you have no idea how bad a shape our vehicles are in.
In our equipment.
Any equipment.
Do we know how to make it really?
With who? No.
What's his responsibility? He's gonna do all this stuff on the sheet. Not just maintenance. Mowing, helping with everything.
Yeah. I mean, the duties are on the,
I guess we're trying to do this tonight because we're trying to get him hired by the 22nd.
Yeah, but it would have been nice if we would have known about it.
I appreciate it.
How much does our average street sweeper take?
I don't know.
I mean,
I got one street employee, and I got one public works director doing the whole thing. And then you want us to do cops on top of it. How do we get our street work done? With two people, and one is a public works director.
I can do all the sewer stuff with two people.
I agree.
Let's do all the other stuff.
I agree. Now you see what I'm trying to deal with here.
I'm just saying that we would have known about this.
What difference will it make, Joey? What difference will it make? If you knew about it or you didn't know about it. The fact is, we need an employee to help with fixing our equipment.
Did you run ad in the paper? No.
Did you run an ad in the paper for the recorder treasurer?
I'm not going. I don't have to listen to you.
We've already had 2 or 3 guys apply for the, job
And we did offer this in the paper, okay? We
I'm
did
just saying,
offer.
nobody knew about it until we got here today. Is my point. I didn't know you were going to add in the paper. You could at least be transparent with
Oh,
us.
give me a break, Joey. Give me a break. Let's be transparent.
Go for it.
Let's go. You got a first and a second?
He told us second.
I still motion.
Your motion is still on the table, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Yours was nine?
I'll say yes.
Okay. Next one on the agenda is resolution number 2026-R13. Old Shoals, Arkansas, a resolution appointing the city treasurer of the city of Old Shoals, Arkansas, whereas the city of Bull Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, requires the city council to appoint the treasurer of the city of Bull Shoals. And whereas the city of Bull Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, will have the office of scratch recorder on that. We'll have the office of treasurer vacated on June, whereas the city of Bull Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, will have the office of recorder treasurer vacated on June 19, 2026. And whereas the city council is required to appoint a city recorder and city treasurer, as such positions have been separated by the city ordinance. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the city council of Bull Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that blank is hereby appointed as city treasurer to serve out the term that began on January 1st, 2025, and ends on December 31st, 2028, and the appointment is approved by the Bull Shoals City Council starting on June 22nd, 2026. 2, the city treasurer shall be paid an annual salary of blank. 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage. Obviously, we have to fill in 1 and number 2.
I would like to nominate somebody that what we're looking for. Bill?
You guys are,
I'm gonna interrupt you, Kevin. We're gonna have to vote on her resignation.
no, you don't have to. City attorney said you didn't have to. She has submitted her resignation and it's been accepted. And the council does not have to vote on it.
That's right.
Okay, so we to the nomination part now?
I'd like to bring something up real quick when we're looking at the job descriptions. The record scheme, on recorder it says the mayor and the citizens of Bull Shoals, and on the treasurer it just says to the mayor. That needs to be added in the council and the citizens of Bull Shoals as well. I think some of the issues we ran into in the past were not the transparency the council needed, and it's important that we understood that we all work together to understand the numbers, so we're not playing guessing games and hearing this party.
What I have to the treasurer's job description, the mayor and city council,
And citizens of Bull Shoals.
and the same thing for recorder, right?
And recorder, it already says citizens part, so.
Stephanie,
Yeah, I would like to make a nomination for the position. I'd like to nominate Amber Knowles to fill the position.
was there an advertisement put out for this position?
I saw something on social media about it on Facebook, but I don't know if there was something put out in the newspaper. That's not my purvey. But
You probably need to put that on the news.
I've seen them discussed. We didn't just hire this guy, because one of these long documents. I don't know who this one is. Why should I vote for it?
Amber, would you like to comment for it?
Amber, how did you two meet Mr. Howell and yourself?
Actually, I think it was a band jam last year when we first met each other, and we just stayed in touch and and everything. And
Did you have an interview by him?
I didn't have an interview.
Did you have a meeting with him?
I mean, we sat and talked about the possibility of being interested in
But that was transparency.
Would you like transparency? I was contacted by a community member that Amber was interested in the treasurer position and would like to talk.
And I got text messages with Amber saying that she took on a job at the assessor's office.
Hey, you know what? We can play all the games you want to.
I'm very okay.
We had a very
You're just not being transparent, Mr. Howell.
All right. Go ahead.
Yes, I originally was going to take the executive office position in the county. Let me backtrack. I started working for Marion County in 2021. I was the assistant comptroller, so I helped our comptroller with budgeting, human resources, payroll, HR tasks, that kind of thing. And my boss at that time, my supervisor, was Susie, and when she won the treasurer's office election, I went with her. And I have worked as the Marion County Deputy Treasurer since the beginning of 2023. Now, I did run for office. I did not win the election, so my job in this year is up. And this is something that I'm really passionate about. I really enjoy doing it. I'm a numbers person. And I do have a resume here if anybody would like to see it. And I want to do the best I can for you guys and help you guys move forward.
Are you familiar with the CSA software? Have you been trained on that?
So I am not familiar with it. I did Google it and do some research on it. I have had experience in 2 other softwares. I've dealt with federal accounting software, so I catch on things pretty easily, and I feel like I'll be able to handle that. I do hold an Associate of Science in Business as well. I have been taking cybersecurity training courses with the Association of Arkansas County. I do have a certificate in business, email compromise, as well as a certificate in human studies as well.
Do you live in town?
Do what?
Do you live in town?
I don't live in town. I actually we are fixing up a place right over in Fairfield.
Should I see you?
Yeah, most definitely. And I brought it for anybody else that might want to listen to it.
when you're ready, Travis, I'd like to call for a vote.
And Joey, to respond to your question, Little King sent to us June 9, 2026 at 10:04 to me. You can put it on the special meeting agenda. The council doesn't have to vote to accept the resignation.
In the past, we've always done it as well. For calling members.
I did ask the city attorney and
One way
one
to
way
my question.
No?
Now, I probably should add that Mr. King advised that the position of recorder needs to be fulfilled as soon as possible, if not immediately, before the treasurer is appointed.
Can the treasurer be reported?
No. Because the two offices have been separated recently, no one person can hold both offices. The same person cannot hold the same two offices.
Is that state rule?
Yes.
So,
She cannot be the recorder if you make her as the treasurer. But you also have to have a recorder appointed to fill out the term. And it's got to be someone different.
I had somebody reach out to me and they said, and this is something that I don't know, I'm just going to bring it up, and see if you want to know something I heard from you something about the 19th to the 22nd, if you don't have a treasurer, you don't allow them because the fiscal years happen. I just want to make sure that we're not going to jeopardize that with the current treasurer giving her resignation and this date being 3 or 4 days apart.
So again, I would call for a vote.
As far as you're looking for a motion to appoint Amber Knowles as our appointed treasurer,
I make that motion.
do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, Amber, before the 22nd, okay, you're gonna have to be sworn in by someone other than a city official, Bo Schultz. So either see Dawn, okay, even though you're a treasurer, you're still a state official, okay, so it's recommended by our lawyer to go ahead and get sworn in, okay? And we'll do that before the 22nd, okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Now, the other thing that's on this resolution is the salary. You guys, have a motion for the salary for the treasurer.
I make a motion, that the salary be 34,000.
I think we were paying 32.
Oh, 32.
Yeah, it's 32, I don't think.
that includes health benefits, correct?
Correct. For her.
I'm just double checking to make sure that, I'm trying to remember, there were some numbers being tossed around at City Hall.
Susan and, Paul are making the same amount. Susan, how much are you making? 32,000 a year.
You want 50 to 32?
I guess we can ask that Noel with that.
I am fine at 32,000 right now, as long as I have the chance to grow. I know I'm going to have to earn the best trust, and I'm hoping to do that and do myself.
You got nothing but room to grow here. I make a motion that we pay this whole $32,000 a year.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next thing I'm going to get into. This is resolution number 2026-R-14, Old Shoals, Arkansas, a resolution appointing the city recorder of the city of Old Shoals, Arkansas. Whereas the city of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas requires the city council to appoint the recorder of the city of Old Shoals, and whereas the city of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas will have the office of recorder treasurer vacated on June 19th, 2026, and whereas the city council is required to appoint a city recorder and city treasurer as such positions have been separated by city ordinance. Now therefore be it resolved by the city council of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that complaint is hereby appointed as city recorder to serve out the term that began on January 1st, 2025 and ends on December 31st, 2028. And this appointment is approved by the Old Shoals City Council starting on June 20th, 2026. 2, the city recorder shall be paid an annual salary of blank. And 3, the resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage. Any recommendations for number 1?
I've got a question.
Sure.
Do you need to remove where it says recorder / treasurer, you have to take treasurer all that, or do you?
No, that would actually keep both in because that's stating that a recorder treasurer's position is being was vacated on the 19th of June. And number 2, if we have someone that can take over this recorder's position, what would you prefer paying that position? Unfortunately, the pay was $1,200 a year, $100 a month. The recorder, if you look at the job description, they are here at every council meeting. They do the minutes. They also do the FOIAs for that to come in. So roughly, just to give you an idea, if a reporter puts in, say, 25 hours a month, okay, be it 6 hours on meetings, okay, and 25 hours a month for 12 months, you're looking at 5,000. That's with roughly $16 an hour.
How much time do you think that person would be needed for?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right now we've been inundated by them, so there's a lot more than 25 hours a month being done on FOIA.
So they're working more than half.
Is there making it an hourly payment, the hourly rate? Because the amount of time we're going
Do you want to come up with an hourly figure for the recorder then?
I would say that would be negotiable depending on who applies for it. I mean, I don't know.
Apparently, we're an appointment.
We have to.
Yeah, but we have to find somebody who wants to be appointed. I mean, we can't just,
Anybody? No, I get that, and we need to fix that. We need to fix that without having a report.
Let me ask you a question, John. What would you think about not specifying at this particular time? We need to approve that we're gonna appoint one. Can we approve the resolution without a name?
Well, I mean, we don't have to approve this right now, but we need to figure this out because we have to, by law, have a recorder.
What I'm suggesting is, let's see if we can get any applicants, and discuss the salary and see if we can come to an agreement. I don't think that the situation we've got, that the numbers we've been paying are gonna be enough, or is gonna kill them.
You wanna make it an hourly rate?
Yes. What do you guys think?
I don't know, what hourly rate you were looking at, $15 an hour, $16 an hour?
I think you should be right in line with what all the other small employees. I don't know what they get paid, so.
What would you say it was working out before? What you think?
We were paid $1,200.
Erica,
a month.
are you hourly?
Okay. So she's not making a lot. Okay, if you go with the recorder and after, we're making a little over $16 an hour. It's not, no, 15. Yeah.
Would you want to put that number in, call it magic? Put it on an hourly deal?
What's minimum wage?
Federal is 7.25.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you work at a business or a city for like 2 years and you work to $15 an hour, but then the city council hires somebody in and pays them $16 an hour, I think it would broke my feathers.
The point.
I'm just, it needs to be fair.
I'm sure you say that.
Well, what's our minimum wage for the employees, what we're paying them now?
Yeah, they're in the streets, $12.50.
Yes. Jeez, Louise, come on.
Now you why I don't have any help.
That's, you're right.
Two of them. But try to come up with the money so we can pay more. I'd love to.
I would too.
Yeah.
Quit spending it.
But, you know, we have, you can't take him because he's on, you know, he's salary, okay? $20,000 a year, so, you know, that's salary. He's making $10 an hour, you know.
To the end, what would be fair to you, basically?
Yeah, we don't need to put that.
What I would like to learn, and we don't need to make it public here, is what our front office staff is currently making, and then decide at an entry level with the idea that they're here.
Their salaries are.
I know, but we, you know, they're sitting right here, we can't, someone, they don't have to. I know, and they did it for I'm just saying, we didn't come up with a figure, and then just.
Well, one, they're not gonna be a full-time employee, so they're not gonna get benefits, okay? If you do an hourly, if you want, I think the, you know, can we say $15 an hour, if that was a full-time job, that's $30,000 a year, okay? Huh?
I can't figure what the annual amount is going to be.
Right. I don't know how we're gonna do it for budget-wise, but. That's why I said, you know, an hour, you know, and you're looking at around $5,000, roughly 25 hours a month. Then now there might be some months they only put it in 4 hours. Okay?
This is my ignorance of all of that. Is it required for the board for all meetings or just workshops?
All meetings. And I know all these meetings, all county.
Well, right. Do they require the parks?
No.
Committee that.
What about the part-time lady you already have in Washington, D.C.?
What?
The new part-time lady, I don't know her name, that's still helping the office?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. We got 3 key ladies working in there, not counting. Can she handle this?
You don't want to.
Okay, you told me that. Okay.
I'm sure this, do we have a question? Are we going hourly, we're gonna go an annual?
I go hourly.
Fair play.
So, we're looking at $15 an hour?
13. If we're Can always go up.
You can always go up from that point, but if that's what we're paying, streets, yeah, we got it. I'm gonna get that
Okay, at this time, I think we'll just still be undecided on this. We're gonna have to get a reporter in here and in that office and appointed. So,
Why don't we split the difference, guys, let's talk $15 an hour and go ahead and get this thing started.
well, like I said, we can fill this in at the next one, but we need to do it pretty dang soon.
We have to get people in.
Yeah, we don't want to touch.
It's gonna have to be lower than 1450. It's gonna have to be, because we have people that have been working their butts off in the city now for almost 2 years, that are doing multiple jobs already, that are here through thick and thin, and to put somebody in above grade, above that, is a stick in the eye to their hard work before we give them a
Motion to adjourn. Second. All those in favor? Aye.